The first poem I'm going to read is called Darwin. The anger rose, a boiling tide, high as the blood in his eye, and his body became a floating hulk, sloshing in furious waves. Like the clams that doze beneath his feet, never knowing salt or sea, but only the bread and butter of life, he no longer felt his pulse raging to dizzying heights. Just like that, long years, choleric and combustible, might have passed. But love and circumstance, having other ideas, gave him mercy and a lipstick smile, a slate-clearing laying on of perfumed hands. Slowly, gratefully, gaining a sturdy foothold here, a steady pad for hands over there, he crawled up and out of himself, like that prehistoric grandfather of all living fish, who, gazing beyond the sea's one-size-fits-all horizon, wriggled up on some sunlit bank, and there began to sprout legs and to walk. Okay. This one is called To a Young Girl's Braids in a Passing Parade. Silken strands, onyx shine, twists of corn silk smooth on the thumb. Were you sown in the loam of some fertile cloud, or sprouted like a dream from a green pot of clay? Now you're fully formed, Athena-like, though not from the forehead of some crabby god, but from a parent's prayer for a daughter's beauty, courtesy, innocence, grace. 2 rays of the sun, 90 million miles from home, rest on your twin strands, catching attention and smiles. You're all the more precious for your speed, the parade, the years passing like a summer storm that quickly quenches the thirsty earth and leaves not puddles, but tears. Okay. This one is a short one called Besame Mucho. The next to last time she kissed him as if their ship had been wrecked and neither of them could swim. Coming up for air, he said, "Kiss me again, don't let me go with these stones in my pocket, this iceberg shadow in my eye." So she did, she kissed him again, but not like a ship or a swimmer at sea. No, only lightly and only once, light as an emptied envelope, and once like a cancelled stamp. Just wondering if the next generation will know, Daddy, what's a cancelled stamp? This next one, I've been to a few readings where people had Facebook poems, so I thought I need to have one on Facebook. And there is one reference to Michel de Montaigne, so when it comes around, you'll know he was a 16th century French essayist, really credited with inventing the modern essay, and wrote a very moving piece called Of Friendship, after his very close friend Etienne de la Boétie died quite young of dysentery. If you haven't read it, it's well worth reading. But anyway, when he comes around in the poem, you'll know what it is. Unfriended. This poem's called Unfriended. When life grows thin, log in, pluck a twinge of guilt, and add another entry to the chronicle of wasted time. You can friend me, friend her, friend everyone who seems to live more variously and vigorously than you. You can even friend that friend or two who passed away last year. We needn't eat a peck of salt to like, comment, view, or share. So many fair weather friends of friends, gallivant and globewise, here, there. Click and you know that you no longer know what friendship is anymore, any more than you know what art is anymore. You're like that taxidermic shark, adrift in a formaldehyde sea, drowning in the gaze of 1,000 eyes. Wasn't it Duchamp who said friendship is whatever some 20-year-old entrepreneur says it is? And wasn't it Aristotle who called friendship impossible with 67 likes, 2,000 followers, and 80 selfies burning nodes in the night? 1563 was an unfriended year. Montaigne's gallstones, his royal appointment come to an end, and Etienne, his friend, his half, dead at just 32. Dear Montaigne, sweet La Boétie, your souls mingled and blended so completely they effaced the seam that joined them. Yes, but who now can understand how they essayed to understand while being so thoroughly understood? Now, when an old acquaintance pokes you, as they would a smoldering log, then rolls you over to see if you're still hot, a secret server somewhere steals a keystroke from their soul. If you could read what's written in its core, you'd see friendship turned into something hard, something cold, a thing to be bought, a thing to be sold. This one has a reference, I hope everyone knows, but Ed Sullivan, but it does mention Ed Sullivan. For those who are too young to remember it or haven't seen it on YouTube. It was a variety TV show. We had the Beatles, but he also would have comedians and jugglers and everything. So this makes a reference to Ed Sullivan, and that's what it was. And it was on Sunday nights. Big event. This one's called The Plate Spinner. Between the puppet made from nothing but a man's crayoned hand and a dozen dark-eyed cousins wearing tights on trapeze, the plate spinner, tuxedoed and beaming, leapt onto Ed Sullivan's television stage. Beckoned by the blare of the anxious music, he joined you in the living room, filling every space of the yawning couch, Sunday bristles close enough to scratch. This was your time, father and son, to watch the plate spinner balance on TV a twirling bowl, a fragile plate, high on a slender wooden pole, whirled 3 times with a studied shake. Clutching sofa arms, each to your side, you waited to see how the spinning plate would wobble, fall, shatter, break. Instead, the plate spinner added one more, then another and another, until 7 bowls, plates, spun in formation on 7 poles, each precarious as an overdrawn check. That's when you turned to look up at his face. You found there a smile, so you smiled too, believing he'd never let the family plate, the family bowl, wobble, fall, or break the way he'd actually, finally do. And for the last poem, this is called Almost Like New. It's an expression from my childhood. We used to go to flea markets and that, you know, if something wasn't quite like new, they'd say, well, it's almost like new. Almost like. So this is called Almost Like New. About the tumble and fall of autumn leaves, there can't be anything new left to say. I'd like to tell you how October paints farewell tints of orange and rust, chestnut, red, and gold, leaving the leaves to glow with a partly borrowed fire, or how an August maple of pagan green overnight turns burning bush, or even the way the season sends leaves rushing to dust, the earth a carpeted grave. But it's all been said and sung before 1,000,000 times, most likely more. In autumn, a tune crooned in June soon goes flat. And now we see how the moon, that double agent, tricked us, promising the world. But the moon soon retiring, and the world and its words are precious antiques. So let's be stirred, not shaken, by our own autumn's estate, even if everything's already been said, as long as we're able to rustle like a pair of narrow nutlets on a sycamore limb. We still can sprout in the warmth of the sun. We too can ripen in the wind's crisp chill. Thank you.